Project 12, Introduction to 3D Printing. Hi, Joe Cerrone. I'm going to show how to take the model of the vase and bring it into Dremel Digilab 3D slicing program, and to use spiralize outer contour, which is a specialized mode in the slicing software by Cura and by Dremel. As you can see, I brought the model in, and if we take a look at it, I had to scale it 50%, and I'll go through it as I bring in the model, but I like to show it the completed end first and then back through and show how to construct that. And so we're working on, or we're using a material of PLA. We have it set for 0.3 millimeters, which is considered low quality for this machine, and we can change that to higher quality. The higher the quality, the lower the value for the thickness of the layer. And as we're looking at it, we've presently got a build time of about 1 hour to complete this project. We've enabled spiralize outer contour, and I've also gone in and made an adjustment to the number of bottom wall layers, so that on the bottom layers I've set that to 7. It was initially 3, just because I wanted it to have a good base. And so if you click on the eyeball and then you set it up to view the layers, you can go through and see how many layer counts you will have for it. And so here's my first layer. It's using a brim, and so we have a skirt with a line count of 5, and there's no infill pattern selected because it doesn't use one when it does spiralize outer contour. And we've set up the bottom layers to 7, and so if I bring this up, we can take a look at it. Let's stop at 6, and you can see that this is still a solid square, and then as we go past layer 7, it begins to use the spiralize outer contour program. Alright, so let's take a look at how that works. We're going to say File, New Project, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the part, and I'm a little concerned that it's got some of the old settings, so I'm just going to start the project again. The Dremel Digilab software is available for download, and so if you're in a situation, everybody is, where you're working from home on your laptop and need access to the software, you can get that from Googling it. And we'll say 3D Slicer. And so here's 3D printing slicing softwares. Here's the Dremel website. Here's another one, same thing, Dremel. And it's nice because it not only walks you through some of the basic qualities and how to use the program, but it also allows you to download the software. And so if you go to Software, 3D, Dremel Digi 3D Slicer now available, download for Windows, download for Mac. And so that's how you can get the software. Alright, so now that we've launched the software, we're going to import the STL, or open it. We exported it in AutoCAD. As I open it, I can see it's too big for the build volume for this machine, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it and I'm going to scale it. 50%. And then once I've scaled it, I'm going to click on it again, and I'm going to move it onto the build plate. If I click the middle mouse wheel, and I'm still having some difficulty, it's like driving a car. They move all the controls and it takes me a while to figure out how to maneuver it, but if I click and hold the middle mouse wheel, I can pan it. And then if I click and hold the left mouse button, I can rotate it. And so I can see that the part is hovering above the build plate. I'm going to move it a little bit more into the middle of the build plate. You can look over the top and say, yeah, that looks better. And essentially it just depends how many parts you're going to print. With spiralize outer contour, it's just one, because it's just one continuous path. It can't go and print one layer, move over here and print another. It will fail. So we just want one object on there, and then we just want to push this down until it starts to fit within the build volume of the plate. And see, it's still a little too high, and so when it comes down, it'll turn blue, and then it'll attach to the bottom. And so then we can click off the part, and that's our model. And we're taking this right from just opening the software. I haven't made any changes to the settings. So let's take a look at it. We're going to be using PLA. We can specify other materials if you put it in the Dropbox and you want something that's kind of unique. There's some nice materials as far as multicolors, glow in the dark, you name it. Wood looks really cool. And there's another material we've been using called silk, which is a very shiny PLA that comes in these metallic colors. So we're going to be using PLA 0.3 millimeters, and we're going to go here and we're going to take a look at the, now right now it's a complete solid, and it looks to me like I may have goofed up a little bit because I have my logo on the top, and that's going to be hollowed out. And so what I want to do is I just want to flip it over real quick. I'm going to click on it, I'm going to go to rotate, and then I'm just going to go and rotate this 180 degrees. There we go. I'll click off the part. That's better. Now if I look at it, that's the top, and then the bottom is on the bottom with my initials, so I'll know that that's mine after it's printed. With these objects, they all look different, so we can pretty well figure it out when we're producing 3D prints of mechanical parts and everyone's doing the same part. We can't tell whose they are, so we have you initial them. So we're going to enable special modes, and we're going to turn on spiralize outer contour, and then we're going to prepare it. And we get a build time of 56 minutes, which is pretty decent. If we want to take a look at the layers, we can see how the build will be. It'll be 502 layers, and then as we go through and we look at the patterns, as we go down, we can actually see there's my logo, layer 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that the bottom is thicker on the first layers, and I want it to be solid. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer count under shell to the bottom layers. And so I'm going to make this, let's make it 7. When I make a change to the print setup, then I have to reslice it. You'll notice that it changes the color because it's going to affect the time that it takes and the codes for the toolpath. So let's prepare that. And then as I look at it, I should see 6 layers of solid, and then after I get past that 6th layer, it will start to spiralize the outer contour and run this toolpath for our printhead. We'll save this to the removable drive and we'll export it. You can change the name of the project by clicking on this little pencil, and then you can change it. I'm just going to say JC Project 12. That's fine. Save it to the removable drive. And that completes how to slice the model.